Hi, my name is Calvin Robert Roteinama, and I am founder Gen Z Voices Uganda. Gen Z Voices Uganda is a youth-led organization, non-profit, and definitely non-government. And one of our core values and core objectives is HIV prevention and awareness. Today, in collaboration with Astro Age Media, we bring to you our podcast. Podcast is HIV Unfiltered. HIV Unfiltered, we bring young people with personal stories living with HIV. We have insights from experts that tell us, teach young people about HIV. And today, I'm very proud to host a young person who could introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm by the name Sacha Mary Grace. I'm Miss YO Plus 2024-2025 Central Region. And I'm OYAPS at Alive Medical Services and also a peer educator. I'm glad to be hosted by Gen Z Voices Uganda, and we are here to build bold voices for every young person. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. First and foremost, thank you for the courage to come up and share your story with young people. I believe by the end of this video and the end of this podcast, a young person would have picked a thing or two, right? Okay, Mary, first things first, let's begin. How was life like? Or when did you realize you contracted HIV?
Okay, in my growing up, yes, I was raised by a single mother. Yeah, with my brother. So we are 3 people. Our dad passed on when I was 2 years. So by the age of 12, I was with my uncle living together. So he was like the supporter, yes, the caretaker of our family. So in that process, we never knew that our uncle was HIV positive. So by the age of 12, I was raped.
Sorry, just take it back. You grew up with your uncle.
Yes.
And you're negative by then.
Yes.
HIV negative when you grew up with him.
Yes. So I wasn't born with HIV. No, I wasn't born with it. I was just raped by my uncle who used to take care of the family. And I was around P3 whereby I could not talk. I could not talk because I had that fear, like even if like I tell my mom, like where I would be like getting school fees, like the food, because like my uncle was the caretaker of our family. So by that time when I was raped, I kept quiet.
So sorry to cut you short, Mary. Just tell us the whole scenario. Like it's very heartbreaking first and foremost. So I'm really sorry that happened to you. Uncle, by the extent your uncle reaches to rape you, like what was the whole scenario like?
Okay, the whole scenario, it was one evening. It was only one time. It was one evening and my mom was not around. And this uncle of mine, because like he used to come at home, like to see us, like to visit, to bring us like some feeds, what and what. So that one evening, I thought like he used to come and it was normal. Yeah, and it was normal. But to an extent, it reached whereby he closed that door. And like I had no any instinct to think about it. Yes, what is going to happen because this is my uncle, what and what. But unfortunately, he raped me, and whereby in our neighborhood, we had no one because like people used to go to work in the morning, then they come back in the evening. And by that time, it was around afternoon. It was a weekend, what was a Saturday. Yeah. So it was a Saturday, so I was raped. After then, he went, never even like said over this and this, like he raped me, then he went. So I was left and I was saying like, should I tell my mom? Should I do this? So I was in dilemma. So by that time, I waited for mom to come, but I had the fear. When she came, I thought I was going to be open to her, but she had that fear. So I kept quiet.
You did not tell your mom?
No. So I kept quiet. It was around, I think, kept quiet like for a month without her knowing. So the process of her knowing, it's when I started falling sick. So I started falling sick, whereby they could take me to the facility, And they would always find malaria. So, and they never used to do like the blood test. So she called one of my auntie. Yeah, she called one of my aunt, Mrs. Nsobuga. So, and she told her, because my aunt was a doctor, was a nurse somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then she was like, this Mary, she's falling sick, this and this. Yeah. So then my aunt advised her to do a blood test. So when we did a blood test, I don't know where we did it from because I think I was young. Yes.
12 years is really young.
Yes, I was young. So I was like, okay. So they did a blood test and then they found out that I was HIV positive.
Positive.
Yeah.
Just to pause you a minute. So Mary was actually raped by the uncle. She was 12 then. The uncle was a sole caretaker. She could not speak out because she was afraid the caretaker would stop giving support to the family. It's very heartbreaking that a young child at 12 had such an experience and could not speak out and seek justice. Maybe back to you, when you're at Baylor, Uganda, the counselor calls you in the corner and tells you, is there something you want to tell me? Is there some story you're not saying? Or what then happens after?
Yes, so when I talked to the counselor, yes, of course, I had a bleeding heart, that I was in pain of what had happened. And by that time, they never told me that you're positive. But it was like they wanted to know what could be the cause.
So the pain, your heart was bleeding, not because you're positive, but because of the rape.
Yes.
Like they didn't know you're positive. Okay, briefly, let's talk about the rape. How was your reaction after the rape? The days after, did it affect you in any way, or you just cried and it all went away?
Of course, it was painful because by that time I was a virgin and I never knew like of the sex intercourse, what and what. So it affected me whereby I couldn't walk well. But of course, as you had that fear of not telling your mother, you had to pretend that everything was
okay, even you're not okay.
Yes, but it reached a time whereby I had a lot of pain. So that's where I started to fall sick. Then they took me to the hospital.
Okay, you started becoming sickly after the rape.
Yes, so I think it was about the signs. Maybe I don't know. So after the counselor, so I told the counselor the story, how it began, how everything happened. Yes, how everything happened. And then after I moved out, then the counselor called my mom. And then she told her each and everything.
What happened?
So after that, then they told me that you're HIV positive.
12 still?
Yes, at 12. Of course, they had to tell me because of what happened. Yes, so that I know. So they told me you were raped by your uncle who was HIV positive. So me, I never knew about, okay, we are studying about HIV in school, yeah? But it wasn't at that age that I been away.
Actually meant.
Yeah, so by then they told me, then I was like, okay, because me, I never thought like it was a big thing. I thought, okay, maybe over it is like disease.
Like malaria, you're going to be okay after some time.
Yeah. So after they gave me medicine, they are like the Septrin, the what?
The ARVs.
By that time, they were giving Septrin for young children. Yes, for children, they take Septrin. I think at the start, they give you Septrin. So I took the Septrin, and then after, I think by time goes on, Baylor was shortage of, I don't know, like read what happened, because I thought that I'm going to be getting my ARVs from Baylor.
No, before we show the ARVs, your reaction, they tell you now you're positive. This is what HIV means to you.
So they told me that you're positive, and then the counselor told me each and everything, that HIV is a virus that is in blood, and you have to be taking like ARVs up to when your entire life. She told me about that. So like if you take well your medicine, you may reduce the number of the medicine, the tabs you take in a day. You may reach where by the time you take only one tablet. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I took it. Okay, I was putting my blame on myself, whereby I thought if I had told my mom about this, that on that day when it happened, at least there would be an emergency help. Yes, so it wouldn't go beyond me getting infected. Yeah, so I put that on my blame. I was like, okay, I have to take it. However much I want or I don't want, because they told me it is your life. Now you're going to be on drugs every day, what and what. So of course I had to be okay with it. Of course I wasn't okay, but I had to because of what happened, and I kept quiet.
Let's a little bit about your uncle. Did you ever find justice? Was he ever punished for what he did, or he just walked away free?
Okay, about that, we talked about we talked it with the counselor, and the counselor was giving us like a lawyer to follow up the case. And when we went home, and my mom, and in my heart I was like, because it was according to me, I wasn't forced to say like, over, let's forgive him, over, let's do what and what. But on my heart I was like, no, it's not needed. We just left it there and there. Cause he ran. However much like all his phones were off, where he stays like he wasn't there, like he ran. So even if like you tried, even if you
That's
tried,
the running comes after raping you. After he's taken, after you're taken to the hospital.
no, after raping.
That's when he disappeared.
Yes.
Till date.
No, like he always went to the village, and then, as you know, the stories of the family, because we told the family members, and now they knew it. But every time we be going there, for him it would be like moving from that place.
So since that day, you've never met him.
Since that day,
You've never. You have not met him face to face.
yes, we haven't met.
That means you never got justice. You just let it go.
Yeah, I just let.
You found a place in your heart to forgive.
Yeah, so I forgive him. So that is it. So it ended with him and me. I was like, okay, this is my life. Then I have to take the tabs. That is it. So
that's a brief story of then how you contracted HIV. It's so sad that at such a young age you were exposed to that and you had to bear the burden. I am finding the words to say next. I can't find them, but now let's discuss the life with HIV. You have found out you're now positive. You have to live your life, the rest of your life, on ARVs, right? How is that life?
So okay, what I can say that life is full of ups and downs, but at the end of the day, you have to know that okay, it's my life, and even if like I don't take these steps, that is going to be the end. And in my schooling, whereby I was taking the tabs when I was at school, of course, no one used to know that I was HIV positive. No one used to know. But it comes a chance whereby when I'm grown up here now, like at our facilities, we used to have like the youth days whereby we engage like as young people living with HIV. Like we engage and we have like a small party, a small get together every end of the year in December. So it comes an opportunity whereby I was appointed to be the YAPS, young adolescent and peer supporter. Is a young person that supports fellow peers to stay on their medication.
Supporting fellow people with HIV.
Yeah,
living with HIV.
fellow peers, yes, that are living positively to stay on their medication and to have a suppressed viral load in order to achieve U equals to U. So it was unfortunate that after me being appointed, so I was, by that time, because I started whereby I was this kind of a girl who never used to socialize, and no one knew I never disclosed my status.
You used not to socialize because you need a positive or because as a person you are
Me as a
perverted?
person, yeah, me as a person, I never wanted to be with a lot of friends
From childhood, even before.
from childhood. So it made me whereby it also like me being HIV positive, and in my head I was like, even if like I socialize with these people, they will know, they will discriminate me, they will stigmatize me. So I was
Confused yourself.
yeah.
So you went from primary to secondary without even your closest friend finding out that entire time. That's about 10 years or something. And no one knew except your family only. Even your closest friend at school did not have any idea.
No one knew.
Okay, that leads us to something. Let's discuss stigma. In Uganda, most people who live with HIV face a lot of stigma. And someone finds out, hey, Mary is positive, they start looking at you in a certain type of way. For some reason, they're now scared of you, you know. Have you come across stigma?
Okay, the stigma I came across, it was about, okay, like the fellow students. Okay, they used to see me taking Septrin. Yeah, yes, at school, because we are taking 3 times in a day. It was morning, then in the afternoon Septrin, then in the evening also ARVs. So that Septrin, my fellow students used to ask me, Mary, why are you taking like everyday drugs? Are you safe? What and what? So I tried to lie. Of course, as you know, yes, I lied to them that, okay, I was sick.
Why didn't you tell them everything? Just told them, Mom, just.
I never told them. So after that time after my O level, I went to an institute. It is called YWCA. So we started. So from there is where I got an opportunity to become a YAPS at our facility. So
All that time you not faced stigma before.
no, I wasn't really.
So you didn't face stigma because for didn't know you're actually sick.
Yes.
Okay.
Kati, it comes a chance whereby someone sees me in one of the, because we have our own organization, it is called UNIPA. Yes, Uganda Network of Young People Living with HIV stroke AIDS. So they see me in an occasion. We normally have the pageants, the summits. So they see me somewhere and then they start to say like, Mary, she's also positive. Inakauka, this and this. So you start to hear like the gossip around the.
Will they ever come out and tell you that, hey,
No, like no one would come out and then they tell Yongo why you're HIV positive. No, you would hear them say, she's positive, she's what. Though like me in my life, I never faced stigma so much. It's because I never disclosed. But if I did so, trust me, I wouldn't even complete the school. Because we know like we are like the students don't have enough information about the stigma, about the HIV. So we'll be there and then someone just stops like talking to you, like because we are in boarding school, and then they start like to discriminate you. You're looking bad, you're falling sick. And by that time I was falling sick, it wasn't about the HIV, but as
no sickness as any you'd fall sick.
so everyone would say, hey, Stegeza, Hajimurade, this and this. So my disclosing helped me so much in that I never faced stigma that much. Though I did, but it wasn't that I can come out and say, yes, I self stigma this and this. No.
So that's interesting. Besides that, then where then it's a personal question. Where do you get the courage to share these stories? Because is it because you've healed personally? And I had this story, I expected you were going to have this podcast probably when you're crying, you haven't healed enough, but it's now, I think, 20 minutes down the road. You have not shed any single tear. And why is it that you used not to disclose in high school, but right now
No, I used not to disclose in high school. It's because of the stigma. And I never wanted my siblings to feel like, okay, the whole family is HIV positive.
Okay, so you did not want your siblings to get discriminated.
Okay, the only part that I had forgot is like one day I did an interview with a certain broadcast, with a certain TV in Uganda, and then they did in the newspaper and they put my pic. Yes, I sent the consent, but those newspapers, when they reached the area where I was staying, trust me, everyone was saying like, your mom HIV positive, your sibling, your... So that was the stigma that I have.
How did that go?
No, I don't know, but me, I just kept quiet.
You okay with it? It didn't bother you?
Like even my parents and my siblings, like they are fine because they told me it's okay if that is what you want to do. It's okay. However much the world judges you that we are all positive, but we are not.
It's okay. So your parents are very supportive. Have you ever felt that someone has treated you differently because you're a person living with HIV? Have you ever faced that? You think maybe Calvin treats me differently because I am positive or something?
Okay, yeah, I used to stay during my primary. I used to be with my aunt, whereby we used to stay together. But okay, she never discriminated me. But I remember my mom telling her that I'm HIV positive and I was going to stay with her while like going to school, and she also had kids. And she asked, okay, it was a question. She never discriminated me. But me as a young girl, I feel like I was
discriminated.
Yes. So she asked like, is she going to use the same plates with my kids? So that thing made me to be like, really? It's like, really?
Touch you.
Yeah, it hurt me, but she never discriminated me, but she was just asking.
Viene in question that havina kwese someone ingezi afya.
Told me it hurt me deeply and I never told her. Yeah, so that is it. That is the only way that I felt.
Okay, back to the question. Where do you find the courage that you were raped by your own uncle when you're 12, in primary 3? You start taking medication for the rest of your life. And you have the courage, take up leadership positions with people living with HIV. Come on a platform like this and several other platforms. Where do you get the courage to do that?
Okay, where I got my medication from, like we have certain organizations, like I talked about UNIPA, that organizes the pageants for young people living with HIV. So I used to see these people, like I used to have friends. Yeah, I used to have friends that we come from the same facility. They contest and then they win. So they gave me that courage also to come out, and they told me, Mary, you can like, because like however much we do anything, like we do something, yes, we are HIV positive and we have to be on drugs. So we have to come out to create awareness and to make these young people, in order to help them to make their informed choices. So like from my story, I learned that if I had the courage to speak out or to report my uncle, of course I would get like paid by that time and I wouldn't be affected. So it helped me also like to come out and I say, there can be a young girl like me, my age by that time, whereby she's being forced to have sex with an uncle because of some benefits or like the care, like the basic needs, like the fees. But that young person can come out, can be a voice to the voiceless, can come out and then talk about themselves, that I'm passing through this and this. By that time, I never had anyone that I was seeing that she was HIV positive, like I could get that courage
and open up.
Yeah, and open up. But me, like after seeing my story, what happened, so I came out and then I was like, you know what? Yes, it came. Of course, we don't know why it came on me in our family. Because maybe God had a reason.
At some point, do you feel like it was, most people say HIV is like a curse. At some point, do you feel like you're cursed or
Not really.
you're gone?
No.
And you feel like you're unfortunate? Or you know, there are certain myths and misconceptions about HIV. People think someone contracting HIV is because they are cursed, is because they are unlucky, is because they are unfortunate. So do you ever feel at that point? Do you ever regret and say, why you mean?
No, okay. Yes, because of the tabs we take every day. Like seriously. I reached a moment in school where I wasn't taking the medicine. Like they used to give me 3 months, but I used not to take. I used not.
Why? Because
like I felt like it is a pill burden. I had pill burden. Like it is a burden, yeah, that to take every day. That you're not sick, okay, HIV positive, but you're not sick, then I'll be taking every day. So I reached a moment hereby I dropped out of care. Yeah, so I dropped off. Then they had to cancel me. We have IAS, they are intensive adherence counseling. So they cancel you, the counselors at the facility, and then they tell you the dangers of pill burden, the dangers of you dropping out. So they told me that, and my viral load was high. Whereby I used to fall sick. That is the reason why I used to fall sick.
because you had a pill, but you did not take your time in medication.
Yes. So I felt like these pills were mean. I used to take a lot of pills. Maybe somewhere I was,
Let's see if I can.
I was like, sigenda kulimira. So during the ISs, so I was advised on how the good it will be when you take the water medication. So even up to now, so it reached that I'm taking only 1 pill. Yeah, so you can start from 5 pills. So if you take your medication well, it reaches a time whereby you take only once in a day. Yeah.
Still, that you're a feel burdened taking the medication.
Not really, because I'm informed. The other days I wasn't informed. So I never knew what it would happen when I don't take. By now I know
What happened when you know
what
the medicine?
happens. Yes, what is going to happen when I don't take it.
Thank you so much for your story. So Mary, in her words, she says she's doing this for a young girl that was her age. She could save a life there. She could save someone from contracting HIV. She's opening up. She's bold. Thank you so much, Mary. That a young girl out there could be empowered and say no to sex when they do not want. And even when they're raped or when they're forced into sexual intercourse at a young age, they would come out and report and they find justice. Mary, if I know whether you come to a conclusion, speak to a young girl who has just discovered they're HIV positive, at the verge of committing suicide. Their first life has lost meaning to them. They think there is no more hope left for them. Mary, there is hope. Speak to that person who feels very hopeless now.
Okay. Yes, I know. Okay, we might be saying like a young girl, but it also even a boy, a girl and a boy there outside there. If you know like you haven't been infected, at least let's try to prevent the increase of HIV numbers every year. At least let's use PrEP and PEP. Yeah. And if you're a young girl and a boy that is infected, and you don't think of a future, like you don't think like you will make it in life,
You feel
or like
life-alone.
that the sky is not even the limit. You can do even more than that. Just that believe in yourself. Do not stigmatize yourself. That self-stigma. It's just because like, okay, a person cannot stigmatize you, but you can also stigmatize yourself, whereby you can say, even if I take the medication, what would it change? Trust me, it would change a lot of things. You will be a role model to someone else that you don't know, but someone out there is saying everything that you do. So do not let that young girl that is a role model to you to be like as if it is a burden, like like you're feeling to commit like the suicide, what and what. So take your medication in time, eat healthy. You're a person. You're a person.
And how old you still?
Yeah,
person.
you're a person. However much you're positive, but we all have the same blood. You have red, you don't have green blood. That's what I can say, that you take your medication well, and everything will be.
Speaking of which, just a small something I've remembered. Do you really think you living with HIV has affected your relationships? Probably, if you're open to talking about that, you're dating someone and they ever find out. You're dating Calvin and Calvin never finds out you're HIV positive. Has that happened to you?
Not really, cause me, I do disclose.
Before?
Yeah. Even on the first date, even if you're speaking on the phone. Yeah, I tell you that I'm HIV positive. Because we are in a world, I work with organizations whereby by every time a person will know.
You're HIV positive.
Yes, however much you don't want, however much maybe you may say it's not bad. Yeah. So you just be open to someone.
What is their reaction like?
Of course, some will pretend that it's fine, but I have never got like anyone who says that, what and what, yeah? So it makes us to also look out, like people are getting to be informed. However much we have so many big numbers out there that don't have information, but at least we have reached a percentage whereby people are being informed, like they know about these things. And like if you tell someone that I'm HIV positive, they will say, do you take your medication well? Or I can take PEP, or I can take PrEP. You get it? So it means like people.
But you had someone who has volunteered to take PEP and PrEP?
Yes.
Okay.
And then they'll be like, yeah, it's fine. So it has not infected.
It has affected your relationships with it at that point?
Me.
No, that's sort of interesting. It means people out there are getting the information. We come to the conclusion. Once again, Mary, I cannot thank you enough. I am very proud of you as an individual for coming out and sharing this story. Just like I said, I personally expected.
Yeah.
You're going to cry. But the fact that you're strong and you smiled all through this, it's a plus for me, and I'm very proud of you. Thank you so much. You had the story. Mary was a young girl, age 12, raped by the uncle who was the sole caretaker of the family. She could not come out and speak because he would stop giving the support. At the age 12, she contracted HIV. Till date. She went through a journey of self-acceptance, and she's transformed. She's now advocating for younger living with HIV. She's now an advocate, and she's creating awareness. Thank you so much. Till next time. And to the young people out there, if the condom is not on, it's not safe. If you don't know your partner's status, it's the high time you get tested and know your status. And above all, if you have a partner, please stay faithful. Stay to one person. Okay? Till we meet next time. I'm Calvin once again. This is brought to you by Gen Z Voices Uganda and Astro Age Media. Thank you. Peace.